I got tired of strings coming out of my ears when I was playing with my Oculus Quest 2. So I've got these Anker wireless VR earbuds to test out. Let's see how they work. Hey everybody, it's Chris from Family Geekery, and today we're going to be taking a look at these wireless VR earbuds, and they're made by Anker. It's part of their Soundcore line. That's the brand that they use for a lot of their earphones and earbuds and stuff. And although I was looking for something to kind of detangle all the cords and stuff coming out of my VR headset, it's really the other functions built into this that I was interested in. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the box says. It says Lightning Sync wireless technology. We're going to learn a little bit more about that, I think, on the back. Dual wireless connection. So let's see what some of that means here. This side says incredible sound loved by 20 million people. I know they've been making these Soundcore devices and they seem to sell pretty well. On this side it talks about the Lightning Sync wireless technology. So it's a customized chip and LC3 codec ensure high-speed data transmission between the dongle and the earbuds for esports grade low latency. And low latency is definitely something I was looking for in wireless earbuds. I've had some Bluetooth ones before that just I just didn't like the sync difference between the audio and the video. So hopefully that helps with that. And let's look at the back here. It talks more about the Lightning Sync wireless technology, simultaneously Bluetooth and dongle connections. So that's something that really interests me. It's got a dongle to obviously plug into, I think, the USB-C connector of the Oculus headset, but it also just talks Bluetooth straight to, any other device, your PC, or it says Nintendo Switch, or PS4, PS5, and then pass-through charging, 11mm drivers. And this is, like I said, this is what I was looking for, the instant switch between platforms, Oculus, PS4, PC, and Switch. So full disclosure, I am an owner and user of Apple AirPods and AirPod Pros. And one thing that I like about them is the fact that I can just, put them in my ears at the gym and play some music from my iPhone. And then put them in my ears on the couch and play something from my iPad. And I don't have to go into settings and tell it to switch between the two things. It just knows. So when it comes to like Android devices, I get tired of having to sync, something with one thing and then sync it with another one and push buttons and make the lights blinky blinky. So I'll be interested to find out how this works, how it can instantly switch between different things, if it remembers different devices or how that works. So let's figure that out. Next step, I guess, is open this up and take a look at what's inside. Hey, look, it's got the little very Apple-esque type of opening things here. That's a nice touch. So you gotta love it when you don't even need to use your knife to open the thing up. So this is what we're finding inside here, and this must be the charging case. So let's get this plastic wrap off of it. And like I said, it definitely looks like they took some notes from Apple with their packaging, which is not a bad thing. So here they are inside. And they must have multiple tips, because it's not showing a tip on there, but that's where you can just pop it on there. So it's got a charging case. Let's see what is underneath the package. USB-C cable for charging probably. And here's the dongle. So this is going to be a pass-through, looks like. Plugs into your USB-C device, and then it has a way probably to charge through that. So let me open up the instructions and see what we got to do. And yes, there are all the tips here. So different tips for different size ear holes. So let's look at these instructions and see how to make these things work. Alright, so I looked through the quick start guide and I've got them set up. I learned a couple things that I'd like to talk about real quick. And the first thing, and probably the most important, is there's a little tiny blue piece of tape on the bottom of each of these at the electronic contacts. that block it from the charging case. Now this is important because I tried to pair them, and the pairing of the headphones works through the charging case with this button here, and they would not pair with anything, and it was a little frustrating. But then once I actually took them out, because I was trying to pair them before I even put them in my head, once I took them out and saw that little blue piece of tape, I took it off and then it worked just fine. So the first step it has you do in the quick start guide is download the app, the Soundcore app, and that's what this is. And the app is pretty helpful. It's got a couple of features. You can change the light to different colors. That's kind of nifty. Not super important, but still kind of nifty. You can change the EQ, and it starts off with the default EQ, which they call Soundcore Signature. And the only option on Soundcore Signature is bass up or not, or you can pick any one of these presets. And you can see the EQ curve changes based upon which preset you set. Or you can actually go into custom and you can drag all these individually. You can save them as a couple different presets of your own, and then you can reset them if you want to. So I just had it set on the rock setting because I was listening to some rock music, and it sounded pretty good. Truth be told, I don't think they sound as good as AirPods. I listened to the same song on both, and the AirPods are going to get the advantage on that one. So a couple different things you can do with this, and then probably most importantly, there is a firmware update that it notices that the headphones need a firmware update. So the first thing I did was updated that. It only took a couple minutes. Another thing you can do is you can change the controls for both left and right ear with a single tap, double tap, or hold for 2 seconds. So by default, nothing happens if you single tap it. If you double tap the left one, it'll go next track. If you double tap the right one, it'll play pause. And then if you hold for 2 seconds on either one right now, it opens up whatever your voice assistant is. And I tried that out and it worked just fine. So this is just the first step, is downloading the app, updating the firmware, and then setting, your EQ settings and stuff. So the next step was going to be checking out what the dongle does and how to use it. So that's the next step. Alright, the next thing I wanted to do was test out the dongle that comes with it. And instead of using the Oculus Quest, it was just a little bit easier to use this Nintendo Switch. So all I did really was I plugged this into the bottom USB port, the USB-C port, which is why it has this feed through. You can charge the Switch through here. And as soon as I plugged that in, it put up in the upper left-hand corner USB audio. So let's see if we can show you that here. So it switched from the Soundcore, which was set up Bluetooth, to USB audio, and it immediately connected. So I had paired these Bluetooth to the Switch, played a little bit of game, and then I plugged this in, and it immediately switched right over. The notification came up, and it just worked. If you unplug it again, you have to go back into settings, and it still remembers that it's paired to this, but you have to tell it to connect to it again. So it still shows up in the list, but you just have to connect to it again. Now, difference between the two, remember on the box it said something about lightning technology, lightning sync technology, and that's supposed to give you a better or quicker or less latency between the earphones and your device. And I can tell you, yes, it was very noticeable. Bluetooth, there was definitely some latency between me punching this tree here and hearing the thud. And then as soon as I plugged this in, as soon as I clicked, the hit button, you could hear it thud, 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 thud. So it was noticeable enough that I do believe that this lightning sync technology works. So that gives me some hope that using it with the VR is going to be a pretty good experience. Now between the Bluetooth setting and the dongle setting, I didn't notice any real audio difference. So it didn't sound any better. It was just a better latency thing. Now when it comes to the actual sound, this particular game, Minecraft, the music in the background actually is a pretty good music for testing out these earphones because they sounded great. Sounded better than some of the metal music I was testing it out with. So for gaming, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty good product. Now back to the Bluetooth sync. So I sunk these up to do the update and everything, and I just opened up the music app and started playing some music. And one thing I do want to note is it doesn't seem like the earbuds themselves have a way to detect that they've been taken out of the ears. Now I'm used to when I take my AirPods out of my ears, it stops playing. I took these out of the ears, they continued to play. I put them in the charger, and they actually muted themselves, but the audio on the device, it kept on playing. It still thought it was playing to these earphones, so the track kept on playing. It never paused, which is not a big deal. It's just a little different than what you're used to if you're using AirPods. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to try was to try these with a PS4, and it says right on the package, instantly switch between platforms, Oculus, PS4/5, PC, and Switch. So the first thing I did was I tried pairing them Bluetooth to the PS4 using the Bluetooth adapter setting, and of course it said right away PS4 does not support Bluetooth audio. It just uses it for controllers. So okay, that didn't work. So the next step is trying to figure out how to get this to work on a PS4. Now the PS4 doesn't have any USB-C ports, so it said you may have to, in the instructions here, it says you may have to use the USB-A to USB-C cable. So I thought, oh, that's kind of nifty. I can plug this into the PS4 and then plug this into here, into the pass-through port, and then maybe it'll work. And as soon as I did that, a light came on the dongle, and it connected to here, but the PS4 just didn't see it at all, so that didn't work. I took the same setup over to a PC, same thing. I plugged this into the PC just in one of my USB-A ports, plugged this into the dongle. It immediately connected the two. The light came on the dongle, but Windows did not see a audio device at all. So using this cable that way is simply just powering the dongle, but it's not connecting it as an audio device. Alright, so the next thing I tried was a higher quality cable, USB-C cable, thinking that maybe this is just used for charging. So I got a USB-C data cable, a cable that I know works for data, and used that in the same setup, plugged that into here, plugged into the PC, and it did not work either. Alright, so the last thing I tried, I actually have a USB-C port on my PC. Now this would definitely not plug into it because it's just not the right shape. There's not enough space on the back of the motherboard to plug this in. But I do have a USB-C extension cable. In fact, I've got a whole video on why you need to own a USB-C extension cable. So basically I have that plugged into the back of my PC. I've got it run out to the front so I can plug in things like high-speed hard drives, backup hard drives for doing my video editing. And I plugged, in that case, this into the female side of that USB-C extension, and the male side of that extension was plugged into the back of my computer, and then Windows saw right away that it was a external speaker. So as soon as that happened, the earphones were sunk to the dongle was now seen by Windows, and immediately I had sound coming from my computer to here. So that works in that case, but the only problem is I didn't have any kind of adapter that would work with a USB-A cable, so a USB-A port on a PS4. Now I've got a ton of adapters here, and none of them were the right ones. I've got a ton of these, which is the exact opposite of what you need. This you can plug into USB-C and it gives you a place to plug in like a thumb drive, but I didn't have anything that had a USB-A on one side and a USB-C female on the other side. So I found them on Amazon. Actually, I got a 3-pack of them for like $8. They'll be here tomorrow. So what I'll do is I'll test them out by the time this video publishes, and I'll let you know in the pinned comment on the top whether it worked or not. I'm pretty confident that it's going to work. In fact, after going to the Anker website and looking at this product, when it shows the PS4 working, it has a little asterisk that says, you may need a USB-C to USB-A adapter not included. So it doesn't say it on this package, but it does say it on their website. And I think that $8 fix, or actually it's like $2, $3, is going to fix it. And in that case, I'll be able to use these with pretty much any device that allows USB audio. So that would be pretty nice. So that would be worth the investment and the couple bucks for that adapter. Alright, and to test the theory that this dongle would work with anything that understands USB audio, I plugged the dongle into the bottom of this Google Pixel 4 XL, and it just worked right away. It sees it as a wired headset, so it knows that it's a USB headset, and this thing is talking to this. And I have since learned from the website that this is a 2.4 gigahertz technology. That's why it's so fast and has virtually no latency. And instead of Bluetooth, it's using 2.4. So I think you'll even get a little bit more distance also from that. So that worked great. Same thing though, still, if you take these out of your ears, put them back in the charger, and even shut the lid, it still does nothing to the audio. It keeps on playing. In fact, this thing was playing for the whole time I've been recording this, from before when I was hooked up to it over Bluetooth, so it kept on playing. Couple more notes. I thought this was destined to get lost, but I think they thought of that, and there's actually a spot right in here in the lid, and you can see that little indentation right there that you can plug or place the USB dongle right in here and take it with you. So that's a nice touch. You don't want to lose that. And then one other thing to note, if you ever have a problem with these guys syncing to this, the lid opening and shutting does something. So there's some process of maybe the earbuds eventually fall asleep even when you take them out and plug them back in and try to wake them up. The process of opening this door actually does something, and it wakes them up and it tells them to connect. So you may see a blue blinking light here on your dongle, and that's saying, hey, it's still looking for these. But as soon as you close the lid, open the lid, then it goes right to red and it's got a good connection. So that's something worth noting. Alright, so let's talk about this dual connection that it listed on the box, and it didn't really describe much. It just says simultaneous Bluetooth and dongle connections. So that's what that means by dual connection. And what I've learned that actually to mean is it can connect to a Bluetooth device, just directly to maybe your phone, and then you can have your dongle in your Switch or your Oculus headset, and it will talk to that at the same time. Now it says it can only play audio from one device at a time. In fact, I think it actually says it can only play music from one device at a time. So basically what it means is you're going to have this plugged into your Oculus. You're going to be listening to whatever game you're playing, but if your phone rings, it'll dim down the sound on your Oculus and allow you to take that call, and then once you're done with the call, the volume will come back up. So that's what it means by dual connection. So that may be handy if you're playing a game and you want to understand that there's a phone call coming in, that you'll still be able to have it paired to both. Alright, so I've basically tested out all the functions that it lists that it works with. I've tested out all the different things in the quick start guide. And other than actually plugging this into my Oculus headset and testing that out, I know it's going to work because that's what it's designed to do. It's just designed to be a USB audio dongle to hook up a wireless connection to these headphones. So I'm pretty satisfied with the test that I did. We mentioned a couple of quirks that may not be perfect, including the right cable to hook this up to a PS4 would have been nice. Like literally, if it cost me $3, it probably would have cost Anker 50 cents to throw it in the box. So Anker, if you're listening, throw a USB-C to USB-A adapter in this box and let people plug it into, if your PC doesn't have a USB-C port, maybe your laptop doesn't have a USB-C port, or whatever console that you want to plug it into. That would be nice to be able to do right out of the box. But thanks to Amazon, it's going to be here tomorrow, and I'll be able to test that out. So overall thoughts on the product itself. And the first thing I'll mention, since they are earbuds, since they are meant to be listening to audio, the quality is good, but I would say probably not as good as AirPods, which shouldn't be a surprise because these are a $100 retail price. I got them on sale for $80, and AirPods are significantly more expensive than that, especially the AirPod Pros. So that's got to mention the audio first. After that, the functionality wise, I think it's an awesome product because of the dongle. Now, these just hooking straight up to a phone over Bluetooth, that's no big deal. You can get those all day long for cheap. You can get them for expensive. There's all ranges of Bluetooth headphones. But being able to set this up wirelessly to a dongle to a device like a PS4, which doesn't allow Bluetooth audio, then that's where the true strength is of this device. And for that reason, I think it's well worth the asking price. It adds a lot of versatility to the product. So if you're looking for a device like this that will let you hook up either Bluetooth or over a Wi-Fi latency free, and they even mention Esports type connection, then this is definitely a decent product. If you've tried something out like this and you've had good results or bad results, then let me know in the comments below what it is that you tried and how it worked out for you. Overall, I hope all the tests that I did on this thing helped you guys out in making a decision in some manner or not. Maybe you own these and you couldn't figure out how to get it hooked up to the PS4. In fact, in my searches, I found lots of people asking on different websites, hey, it lists PS4 on the box, how do I get it to work? And actually there was no answers out there. So hopefully my solution works for that. If this helped you out at all, I would appreciate that thumbs up on that video. And if you like this type of stuff, you want to see more reviews, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But thank you as always for watching, and until next time, peace out and geek out.